Hi, everybody. Welcome to ComicPop Returns and our show Off the Rack here on our supplemental channel. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Supplemental channel. You're subscribed to ComicPop Returns. This is one of the main shows on this channel.
Right. Yes.
Of course, if you do like, if you're from our other channel, Comic Pop, thank you so much for your congratulations and your kindness and your
thank you.
everything. We hit 100,000 subscribers yesterday, thanks in a large part to our friends over at Mr. Sunday Movies, who were kind enough to let us take over their channel for a day and share what back issues is all about. And welcome if you came from Mr. Sunday to Comic Pop Returns. Wow. Thank you so much for going on that web quest and joining us here. Yeah, I'm making references to things that they don't do anymore, I'm sure. Listen, normally this would be a time for heavy celebration and accolades and excitement, and
it is. Don't get us wrong.
There's no question about that. But you know how they always say the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Well, in
like true us fashion, that's what this kind of felt like.
Like we hit 100,000, and Tiffany was like, "Why aren't you like jumping up and down?" And I'm like, I just feel something. But
apparently,
no, I was actually very excited.
No,
I was
he
thrilled.
Was. He really was. No, and like
we came to the studio today, and there's a huge hole in the roof.
There's not a huge hole in the roof. Hang on. There is a leak in the roof, and there is a small pond in the middle of the floor.
Yes,
Spider-Man cutout.
Yeah,
our sacrifice, because that was what made us immediately realize something was wrong and like spring into action to make sure everything else was safe. I would say that this is not a bad thing because it could have been in the library.
It could have been in the library. The library could have been in that room. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was literally out there and has since moved. Everything seems okay except for that Spider-Man cutout. We've got buckets right now. The landlord has come by. They are aware that there are leaks in other parts of this building right now. And so unfortunately they have to wait for they sent someone up there to clear the roof as much as they could. And they have to wait for some decent weather for a roofer to come out and do repairs on it. So
but the good weather would mean that at least there won't be any more leaks. So
hopefully, unless it rains. So that's something we're just going to keep an eye on. So we're happy that we came here today to do this show, because if we hadn't come here today to do this show, we wouldn't have known until, I guess, Tuesday. So tomorrow.
Exactly.
Which would have been worse.
Yes, it would have been much worse. Yeah.
So we're still excited to have 100K. We're still excited to be here. And we will say, we don't know how the internet's going to treat us right now.
Yeah, the Ethernet cable that we have is actually in the ceiling.
Yeah, it runs through.
It's wet, and so we don't know if it's going to lose it. So we're going to keep it really tight today. We're going to keep it. It's going to be a mini episode today. We're going to reference the books. We're not going to get into in depth. I'm going to basically do like pass or fail, recommend or not.
Okay, we might have to talk a little bit about Marauders.
All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about Marauders. But we also want to mention, of course, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. A lot of you have already been kind enough to share your super chats.
Yeah, and not just through super chats, but like honestly, you guys bring us your support through kind words and much love. So thank you for all of that.
But we should also remind you that we will be doing our own like 100K celebration live stream. We haven't worked it out yet, but we didn't expect to hit this number this soon. Which is my fault. I should have should have had a plan in place.
Hey, we were pleasantly surprised, and it's a big thing. We will plan a celebration, and we'll let everybody know about that with plenty of time. And it'll include Ben and Ethan as well, because that's the other thing. Like, they're not here right now, and we can't have a celebration without them.
No.
So
Brian Rowlands, congrats on 100K. Well deserved. You're all amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I'm very intrigued by the end of Marauders and where it leads.
Right.
Dan V900, congrats on 100K. Did either of you read Joe Hill's Reign #1? I thought it was great. Loved the art. Actually liked Robin and Batman #3 compared to the first two issues where Batman wasn't a jerk as much. I've seen the art. It looks really good. Yeah.
The art looks great in that book, and I think I'm gonna trade weight that one at this point.
Yeah. And I've not read Reign.
No. No.
Psycho Red.
Here's what's an inappropriate thing for me to feel.
Yeah.
The fact that like DC seemingly like likes and hates imprints. I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, like why would I support you if you have
no support for yourself? But I want to, because I like the books and I should just do it, but like it bothered. I don't know. Anyway, it's all about the story.
He also said Jason Aaron's Conan continues to be awesome. Love the art. The Daredevil, Wonder Woman Without Fear, Women Without Fear, Struggle with Jail versus Legion. Yeah. Thank you very much for your support, man. I really appreciate it. And thanks for your reviews. Psycho Red 100K is absolutely stellar. When were we doing the party? Soon.
We'll let you know. 100%. Don't worry.
Raj Patel, congrats on 100K subs. Question, what are your thoughts on the new Amazing Spider-Man team? Personally, JR Jr. was not my first choice. No, but I dig him. And his preview page was amazing, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm interested to see how this all shakes out because like he's the kind of artist that can really split a room.
Yeah. He always does.
Yeah.
Alex Cash, the big ass donation. Thank you very much, Alex. And thank you for your continued support over at Patreon.
Thank you.
100 for 100K. You're very kind.
Dude,
thank you
that's
very much,
above
man.
and beyond.
Really.
Thank you for not only for that, but for being here. Like we recognize your name 100%. So thanks for being part of our community.
Abe Sapien, hey, Sound71 wanted to congratulate you on reaching 100K. Thanks for the recommend on Bloodline or Bloodstone. Bloodlines, jeez. Probably my favorite issue of the tie-ins.
There you go.
Kingsport Cal, happy MLK Day. Happy MLK Day to you. Yeah, we're working on that day, which in the spirit of the holiday, I have a question. Will DC ever make a Static Shock film? Also 100K. That's rad. Yes.
I hope
and yeah,
so.
they will.
I wonder if they won't immediately try to make it some sort of animated thing, but I wish that
it is going to be an animated thing.
I want them to make a live action.
Me too.
I think that sends a more powerful message, and I think it's something that Static deserves.
Yeah.
Static. I mean, it's funny because a lot of people were introduced to Static via a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of people's gateway to that character. So it seems fitting to give him an animated movie, but I'd like to see it elevated to that live action because, again, not that I agree with it in Western culture or Western cinema that like animated films aren't always seen as like the same gravitas as like a live action film, but like if that's how we're going to be, fine. We're not like changing minds just yet. Although I do think that like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, like winning an Oscar,
that helps,
made a difference for sure.
Yeah.
But like I wanted to have that elevation.
Exactly. Axe, congrats on 100K. Lots of love from Mexico. Well, thank you very much, Axe. Really appreciate it. Gracias. Max M, congrats on 100K. Can't wait for the book you choose to celebrate with on back issues. I'm also curious what character you think deserves a video game. I'd love to see a Daredevil game. I'd like to see like a Thor game, like God of War. That'd be cool. Wonder Woman, same deal.
Yeah, well, we're getting that, but like Daredevil, it's a good one.
Daredevil,
I'd like to see a like something in universe with a Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
game. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's him or not. I don't know.
Right. Nick Grimes, congrats. Love the Morbius episode. Thank you. Yeah, if you haven't already checked it out, there's a whole other episode of Back Issues over on Mr. Sunday Movies where we cover the first appearance of Morbius.
Yes. And you worked hard to get that cut and ready to go.
I did.
There was a very short turnaround time on that. That was shot Thursday.
Yeah.
Before like this past Thursday.
That's right. M&M finally caught you live watching my favorite comic book channel while petting a sleeping cat. That's a pretty good evening. That's a great evening.
Dude, that's a 10 out of 10 evening.
Matt P, Comic Pop live. Glad I finally catch you live. Keep up the good work and stay safe. You too, man. Thank you very much for your support,
Thank you.
Ricky Spanish, congrats on 100K. Thank you very much, Ricky. Really appreciate it. Man. Thank you. Ethan Ainsworth, what a ride. Been there since 2015, and Comic Pop has been a huge part of my week and of my absolute favorite channel. Thanks for feeling like my comic friends when I don't have any. Thank you. That's what we're trying to do, man. I want to be like the Wizard magazine of the YouTube space.
Yeah. You got friends out there.
You do. Andre Didier, congrats on the best channel on YouTube. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
Cat Lawyer will defend for treats, just coming back from shoving snow after a good Canadian snowstorm to say congratulations. Thank you, man. I've been a fan since 2015. You've only gotten better. That's good to hear.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Your hard work is an inspiration. P.S. Love your cats. We love them too. Thank you very much.
We do too. Oh man.
They're
all warm at home right now.
They are. Yeah. Drexler. Now that you've got 100K, also congrats. When is Death Metal? Soon. I'm working on it. I don't want to like rush it. You know what I mean?
That's like I cannot wait for the guys to react to that.
No,
book.
Me too. All right, let's get into some books. Just a quick like rundown of some books that we've read that we think you should check out.
Yeah.
I read Amazing Spider-Man number 85. This was fine.
You said that like you're like I read it, but
yeah, I read it. It's Cody Ziegler, Paco Medina. It's fine. It was more the same. So it's like if any of my criticisms that I've given this series before continue to be so here, but it is fun to see Ben Reilly like fight Doc Ock in like an actual, almost no holds barred fashion. Unfortunately, the book, I don't know, it felt really like all over the place, and I don't know. It gave you whiplash, like tonally. Like sometimes there'd be a fight, and then other times they just like Ben mercilessly punches Doc Ock in the face like several times, and that's like the reason why he had like his huge status quo shift, where like he has like brain tumors and is falling apart and stuff. It's like to have that happen all over again and have people have disregard for it. It's just kind of like, but that's really problematic. Like that was like a situation they set up where they're like, it's really problematic to punch this regular person in the head with spider strength, but Ben does it like with reckless abandon. And if they'd referenced it, they didn't. And instead, Doc Ock just like has a conversation with afterwards. He's like, you can just beat the hell out of me, and that's fine. And I'm like, no, yeah,
that's
but like,
cool. Don't worry, I dig it actually. It's fun.
right.
I noticed that they put him back in the white suit. Is he in it? In this?
No, no, he's wearing what he wore the last issue.
Funny. The covers are really pushing the white suit.
Yeah, they must have gotten like 2 different mandates. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, #1 of 3. People were like, "What? This is it? This is the big change?" No, it's just a 3-issue miniseries, which is basically just a Devil's Reign tie-in miniseries that kind of explains like what Elektra's up to, and she's going to go on like a little journey. It's got art by De La Torre, and it's of course written by Chip Zdarsky, so at least it feels tonally consistent with the character and with the series that we had just like kind of put on hiatus. It's just Elektra like as Daredevil doing her thing, getting in touch with her past, meeting up with characters that had like set up who Elektra was over time, and it's fine. Like it didn't really blow my mind. The art is fine. It's not like Chichetto. It's not like, it's fine.
Okay. Doesn't hit you the same way that Daredevil does.
No,
okay.
no. And the cover is like the most kind of like out there in terms of art that you'll get in the book.
Okay.
So, that's fine. Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes is a massive DC Comics event. And when I say massive, I mean it's a thing that is happening. It's written by Bendis.
It's a limited series. Does that constitute an event?
Well, yeah. All events are limited series. It's got art by Scott Godlewski, and the art is really fun. It's like,
I dig it.
It's interesting to see this kind of thing because I think it's an event. I mean, it's Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes, and it's a culmination of all of Bendis' work on Justice League and Legion of Superheroes. So, like, my guess is this is what would constitute in today's world as an event. The only thing is, there's no fanfare, there's no discussion, there's no hype, there's nothing.
This is just for people who are reading this and probably enjoying it.
Exactly. So it's like, hey, how about another book? How about another series that like supplements the Justice League and Legion of Superheroes books that are led by Bendis? And if you are familiar with my opinion about Bendis on DC, then you know probably what I'm going to say about this book, which is that it's not great. It's like a lot of talking, but like unlike his I do love that. And if I gave a shit about anybody who was talking, or if they're talking about anything interesting, then maybe I might be interested. And it's not about like my bashing of the Legion of Superheroes. It's really about like what the stakes are and what the issues are. And like Bendis, of course, like at his Marvel work where he read like 3 Marvel Comics events and then like used them as the fulcrum upon which all of his other future work would rest. He read the Great Darkness Saga from Legion of Superheroes, which came in the 80s and kind of like propelled Darkseid and also Legion in a big bad way during the modern era of comics. And so he read that and he's referencing it here. Outside of that, I'm never going to read another issue of this again. It's so milquetoast and it's so like uninteresting. I'm just not.
Now you did say like it's because like you don't really have a strong attachment to a lot of these characters.
I don't.
But if someone did, do you think they might?
I think they'd be really upset because like they don't act like they would. They're all physically different from the way they used to be. Like there's no real rhyme or reason as to like the changes that were made to these characters. So I really have no idea what to do with this. Like Superman's on the cover. He's not in the book. He's not even on this planet. It's
well, I see Batman too.
Batman's technically in it. He appears, but it's like that's not the reason to read it. It's just kind of like I don't know. I don't know. And I think the verses is just like because DC told him to do it. But it's
because that sells.
It's wholly skippable. Like it is entirely skip. You don't need this.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you have a couple of books that you read that you'd like to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, and
so let me read these while you get those ready.
Absolutely prepared.
Gotham City Critics. I got positive COVID test, and I'm getting the positive test really bummed me out. The Morbius back issues really cheered me up. Thank you. Congrats on 100K. Thank you very much, man. And I'm sorry to hear about your positive test, but listen, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Quarantine, do what you can. And
it'll be over before you know it.
Hopefully it'll be over before you know it. Hopefully you got the Omicron because if you did, it's like hopefully the symptoms are mild and there shouldn't be as long lasting. You shouldn't have like the long COVID, but I don't know that for a fact. I'm not a medical professional. Gannon Kendrick, congrats on 100K. What MCU show are you most looking forward to this year? Moon Knight.
Probably Moon Knight. I don't know. Probably. We'll see.
Yeah. And
I think, is She-Hulk coming out this year?
She-Hulk, yes. She-Hulk. More than Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight, but I'm really excited for
I'm
She-Hulk.
kind of excited for the Ms. Marvel show, too.
I hope it's good.
Me too. I do, too.
And thanks a lot, Flywheel Shyster, for your generous donation. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So what do you got?
Let's just real quick talk about King Conan.
Oh yeah, King Conan.
By Aaron and Azrar.
Yes,
it's dope. It's just so good. It's not okay. This story is really about like Conan dealing with being old.
Yes, as I would expect.
A dad.
Oh,
and what to do in a kingdom where he's found peace.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just such a good book. It looks great. It reads fast, but in that way that it's just a good
Exciting.
book. It's just Aaron doing the thing that he does really well, which is apparently write Conan. Like I don't know, guys. It looks fantastic. You get these amazing images.
Oh man, yeah,
of like just Conan doing Conan-y things and like thinking about life and thinking about how like he feels like he did his son dirty.
Oh.
Because his son is very tempered. He learned from like scholars and all of that, and like.
But he's not like
he's
a true
gonna
warrior.
be based on what you like see of him, he's gonna be a great king one day, but like not in the way that Conan is. And Conan's like, my dude.
Yeah, you need to like.
Yeah, like
fight for your life or
literally,
steal.
there are like some marauders who enter his lands. They chase them off, and King Conan won't rest, and they're like, we have to go. He's like, we got to go and like we got to like invade them. And they're like, we don't need to invade them. We won the day. We're good. Like they're not gonna come back. They know you're here.
Yeah.
Like you're fine, man. And so like inevitably his son like convinces him of that, and he's like, all right, cool. Like you and I will take a ride then instead, and like we'll go deal with these guys. He's like, we already took care of that. We'll go deal with these guys. That's already been taken care of as well.
Oh.
Like Conan's like,
well, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's like just relax.
He can't. So what he does, he takes a ride out with his son, and like the whole army's riding back, and he's like, his kid's like, all right, are you going to tell me
why we're doing this?
Now?
Yeah.
He's like, it's to say goodbye. And he's like, where are you going, Dad? He's like, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, you cannot return to this world, to these lands, until you have a tale from each of the other lands to bring to me.
Wow.
He's like, you're exiled.
Yeah. Oof.
You're not a prince anymore, Khan.
Aww.
I'm like,
that's cool though.
Yeah. So
hope that dovetails into a series about that character.
Right? So meanwhile, Conan's dealing with something else. There's like a hot babe and like some apes.
Yeah, he'll
This is like the way better version of Red Ghost.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Well, where is that? Where's the sexy Red Ghost?
This is a hot chick with super apes.
Yeah. That is Red Ghost.
I guess. I don't know.
But a woman.
I'm so into this series. It's just a treat every time I read it. So it's a recommend for me. Absolutely.
Nice.
Another thing that like I read this week as well that like initially I was like meh, but by the end of it I was like was that Bloodstone tie-in, Death of Doctor Strange Bloodstone, written by Teenie Howard with art by Ig Guara.
Okay.
Looks great. Really is just an opportunity to tell a Bloodstone story,
right?
Just like all the other books have basically been.
But this is more like, I'm sure Teenie Howard's like, they're never going to approve a Bloodstone book, but I could get this issue out, and maybe someone will be excited about Bloodstone. Basically,
this actually makes some changes here and there. Like it it also has a brother who has a demon attached to him, and like he's a jerk. So is the demon. You know. They find out that there's another sister.
Oh.
Sister comes down. So we've established that. We get the demon under control in a better way. Like, and then eventually they actually banish it from him.
Cool.
And so like he can bond with someone else. And so like Elsa leaves off like having talked with her younger sister that like, oh, it's not really the monsters that are the problem. It's like the sorcerers and wizards who control them. And so like Elsa's kind of like, maybe that's who we should be getting. And like if Doctor Strange ever comes back, I need to have a word with him. And I'm like, oh. All right, so like we're like transitioning, or
that's
like
cool.
In this one book, they're like, oh, if we do anything else with them, we could try this out and see how that works. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
What is it with me and like liking chicks in Marvel who are like, like I'm gonna be a jerk,
right?
Because I think it's for the best.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. So
take charge, ladies. I get it.
Yes, I don't know. So
I like them too. So, yeah.
So.
Marauders?
Yeah, you want to talk about Marauders?
It's the #1 book of the week on Comixology, by the way, somehow.
This is wrapping up the Marauders run for now. It's going to be back.
Okay.
It's written by Jerry Duggan. With art by Matteo Lolli and Phil Noto.
Oh, wow.
They both do a really good job.
They oughta.
Well, I mean, like blending styles.
Oh, yes.
Where like it just looks good. It's a solid looking book.
Good.
It's like simultaneously dotting I's, crossing T's, and setting up the new status quo for the Marauders, and also making me question everything I know about Emma and like whether or not this book, where this is really placed in terms of like the canon right now, or like the timeline. Because
you mean like, was this completely reworked or overhauled after Hickman's exit and the end of Inferno 4?
Well, no, I mean like literally, like, is this like an oops, we really weren't thinking about what we were doing, or a like indicator that like they're going to do something later on with Emma, that like Emma didn't really betray everybody in that same sense.
I mean, I would hope,
because there's a moment like basically
we've talked about that.
Emma's
right?
story here is that like she's like, I'm doing too much, and like because I'm doing too much, I'm not doing anything to the fullest potential that I should be doing it, because I'm friggin' Emma Frost. Like,
yeah.
So her plan is to give up her seat in the Hellfire Club to Lord Chantel.
Okay.
Which is like going to be awkward because her and Sebastian Shaw's like history.
Yeah.
But she talks with her, and Lords is like, yeah, I can handle myself. It'll be totally fine.
Okay.
That ends up not working out the way she wants it to. She takes Sebastian's seat, thus kicking him out of the Hellfire Club, and he accepts it, which means he's up to something. And the Cuckoos will take her spot.
Okay.
As one. So they're the White Queen.
Wow. That's a neat idea.
Right? And so like how they're going to run it is like whoever's wearing the white uniform for the day has the final say in whatever decision needs to be made.
Okay.
There's a really funny, touching moment at the end of that where she's just like, she's like, I'm really surprised that you guys wanted to help me out like this. She's like, some of us want to help you, some of us are just interested to see, and some of us want to just learn more about you so that we don't become you.
That's fair.
She's like,
ouch.
And they kind of have like a little like psychic hug as she's like, I always assumed you guys would like kick me out in a hostile takeover, so this is a nice surprise.
Oh,
cute, fine, whatever, okay. Nice. Kitty Pryde and her Marauders swindled the Verendi, that group of like youngsters who like basically who are jerks, out of $2 billion or $8 billion in cryptocurrency.
Topical.
That they're gonna then
isn't Dogecoin?
They don't specifically mention it.
Coin Krakoina.
They wouldn't use that. They hate Krakoa.
No, I'm saying, well, the Krakoa needs to create their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
Madriporium. Yeah.
Come on down to the Madriporium. We've got all your needs.
Yeah.
So they get that money so they can donate it during a big fight with robots or whatever that are sent after them. A bunch of people are like, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm leaving the Marauders to go do stuff.
Okay, yeah. Like Pyro, probably.
Pyro's like, I wrote a book and I'm leaving to go on a book tour.
Okay, cool. So, are you gonna kill yourself and grow back a new face with get rid of that ugly ass tattoo?
He doesn't have the tattoo.
Did they just forget, or
it's
did
not
I miss
in the
something?
book? I might have missed something. All that matters is he's going on a book tour. Iceman and Christian Frost are leaving together.
Okay.
They're going to go and have a vacation.
Sure.
Iceman is currently in this. He's fighting the Frost Giants because he's like, after terraforming a world and like all that, he started to question the upper limits of his powers.
Well, sure, he's an Omega level mutant.
And so he decided to go off and like test those powers against the Frost Giants.
Like in Jotunheim?
Yeah, he goes to Jotunheim and he's like, send me the ones that fight Thor, and like one of them's on the ground. He's like, we are the ones that fight Thor.
That's cool.
That we then get a very timely Lord of the Rings reference.
Ooh, great. I love 30-year-old references.
One of the Frost Giants impales Iceman for a moment and says, looks like Earthling's back on the menu, lads. Doesn't work out.
Classic.
Doesn't work out for that guy.
I do. You know what? We make that reference on back.
We do. So it's totally fine. And like, thank you. I appreciate that, I suppose. Also, he mentions, he's like, don't invade Earth ever again.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So cool. Whatever.
They're like, we weren't going to.
So they're going to go off. They're going to go off on like a regular vacation together and just relax.
Okay.
Right. So Kitty's going to keep doing the Marauder thing.
Okay.
She's just going to have a different team. So she's still the Red Queen. Lords is going to be the Black Queen. The Cougars are going to be the White Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma realizes that, like, again, like she's doing too much, and she's going to really focus on like Krakoa, which lines up with what happens.
Yeah.
Up until she's like, there are people that like I am forced to work with that I don't trust, right? Mm-hmm. And it specifically shows Sinister. And at the end of that, of what happened in Inferno, she definitely told Sinister, among everyone else, this secret.
Yeah.
This person that she clearly despises and would never want to work with
Right.
ever. And so like that was one of those things where I was like, this is
why?
weird.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I just like based on this book and the personality they're setting up for her, that like she's like, no, I'm like part of this.
I
I'm like,
believe in Krakoa.
I believe in Krakoa, but like I also believe in like doing my job to the fullest potential. And then to just like, I guess, determine that her job was doing what she did in Inferno is, I'm just missing something there, I think.
That's
unless
fair.
they're indicating that, again, there'll be a secondary betrayal at some point.
I'm sure there will be multiple betrayals.
More importantly than that, at the end of this, or the beginning of this, Kitty went to Forge and they're trying desperately to figure out why she still can't use the portals.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, Kitty, science will fix this. She's like, I know you have like a super secret mission for the Quiet Council. And I'm like,
is that the gun?
Is it the gun? I don't know. Did
Probably.
Emma ask for that? Sure.
Yeah.
But that indicates that they do know that like this, that what happens in Inferno. So this should lead up to it, right? At the end of this, she goes to Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
Which I like that because there's like apparently like,
well, she has a link with Franklin, but
well,
Franklin's not a mutant
but
anymore,
there's like
so
there's a joke about the fact that like there's like an ongoing pool at the bar with no name about how far you can break into the Baxter building before you get caught.
I gotcha. Okay.
And like you can like place bets or whatever, and she makes it obviously to his lab, and like he's like, you're one of 3 people who've ever done that, and she's like, well,
it's her and Wolverine. Yeah.
She's like, it's me. I'm like, she's like,
yeah, it's like more like you've been invited, but yeah.
She says she's a ghost that was trained by a ninja.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, I want you to help me. Like, I want you to help me to be able to use the gates.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I want something too. He wants the knowledge that Charles stole from him.
That's fair.
She brings 2 flowers and she's like, all right,
let's do this.
Yep. And that's where we leave off.
That's great. Like, good.
Okay.
That's his knowledge of being able to deny the mutant gene.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Good. We'll see what happens with that. So that's why I want to talk about Marauders, because this sets up
a lot of stuff.
Status quo for the next set of Marauders. And again, also informs or doesn't inform Emma a little bit. Emma was such a big part of this book. And I do hope that she continues to be a part of this book, because like after what she pulled in Inferno, I feel like we need something to have a little more character development on her, or continuing character development, so that things either make sense or they can make them make sense.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
X178, 100K congrats. Now for 100K more. Thank you. Dan V900, the Michael B. Jordan produced live action static film was gone nowhere since his announcement in 2020, which is disappointing. Yeah, no surprise.
Yeah.
Mr. Ketch was so excited to see 100K. Congrats, and so well deserved. Bloodstone was great. I hope Marvel does follow up on it as a new direction for Elsa.
Right.
A good idea. It's so smart. I don't understand.
It really changes it up, especially since they just keep saying like that month, like there aren't too many monsters left in this world. And it's like, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, there's only so many monsters.
Right.
So
Comic Lantern 2, congrats on 100K subs. Thank you. I've been listening to you since middle school, and I'm about to graduate high school.
Wow.
You helped me keep my love for comics. Well, thank you so much for being here, man, and congratulations to you
on the future graduation.
Yes. B Black, what up, fam? Congrats on the 100K. Tiff's reptilian video got me thinking, are comics kind of like poetry, where knowing the context, like the writer's intent, personality, and/or background, are necessary to truly experience it? Comics are like poetry in terms of them being literary, like art. And so it really is dependent on what you get out of art. Like if you does a Van Gogh painting strike you differently if you know the context of the painter?
Yes.
But like, can you enjoy the painting without knowing the context? And I say yes. And like same with writing. Like you can read a Hemingway book without knowing the pathos of Hemingway and still enjoy it.
But I think that I think that it is again very much like art, in that like sometimes a person just draws something for drawing it. And someone else might see something more in that, but there's nothing more to it. It's substanceless for the artist, and as much as like they'd had no deeper meaning, even if the piece is beautiful.
No, but if you derive meaning from it, then the meaning is there.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, but it won't matter if you know what the artist's intent was there, because the artist was like, my intent was to make something pretty,
right?
And like
or to make money,
or like because I had a job to do, and I did that job, and so there's nothing wrong with that. That's still art. So like some comics are written like that.
Yeah,
they just have a job to do, and they're just getting from point A to point B. And if you derive meaning from it, that's great, and that doesn't take away that meaning or diminish that meaning whatsoever.
No.
But there are other books that the writer clearly has something to say, or like they're struggling with something that they're working through, maybe throughout their writing.
Yeah.
And that does, I think, color your opinion of it. And so a lot of times I prefer trying the book first.
Yes, before
and like
knowing.
now, of course, once you learn about a creator that's going to be with you forever, and so that will color your interpretation of their works after that. But I always find it to be a more enjoyable experience to read through something first and then look up and like learn more about the creative process that the writer and artist went through.
I agree.
Because it gives you a different interpretation.
That's
of
right. Right. But it doesn't
sure.
get in the way of the honest.
Right.
Pure...
Because like I read Reptilian and I was like,
You're like, what the hell?
I was like, what the hell is this? This is like really weird and I don't understand it at all. And then like just getting a little bit more on Ennis. Now, is there possibly more to this? Sure. But having that little bit more when I reread it, it was a very different read.
Exactly. Kingsport Cal, Sal, if Moon Knight show isn't dope, I will rage quit like you did with Clone Saga. I love Moon Knight, and I'm not impressed by the trailer. Yeah, I don't like his. I don't like the fact that his costume seems to be magic. That's a stupid idea.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's terrible. Justin Guy with a mustache. What's this I hear about a super chat party? You're very kind, man. Thank you so much.
Above and beyond.
Justin Guy with a mustache has been trying to get people to get us to 100K forever, and we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for fighting the good fight for so long.
Yes.
Captain of Everything. Hey guys, congrats on the 100K. What's your opinion on the Eternals movie? I personally enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on it? We did a whole actually review of it, so go through our archives here and check it out if you want to get a deeper understanding of what we thought. But I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I think you did too.
I did. I absolutely did. It was one of those movies where like I went into this knowing full well that like this was not going to do well, no matter what.
Yeah,
because
I was like, don't
Eternals.
make an Eternals movie.
Yeah, and here's
Forever.
the thing, I'm glad that they made it, but
me too.
But I do think it was like a misstep only in the fact that I think it was made really just because they didn't know what the future for them held.
Yeah.
And they stuck to their guns. And again, I'm not upset that they made it. I just feel like
they will learn the wrong lessons from it.
Yes,
failure.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a property that for a lot of people, they like that is the book. The movie itself is the perfect distillation of that book.
Right.
In that nobody it splits the room.
Exactly. And that nobody
and
was
some
like
people
excited
like it
to go
and
watch
some people
it.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, Dante Cook, thank you so much for your generosity, man. Perfect timing on starting the show. I needed help getting through cardio. Congrats on 100K. Tiffany, would you restart Wonder Woman Valhalla? I get why you needed a break, but it was easy and fun.
So
at the end of the word,
I read all of the Valhalla run itself, like that arc, and then after that, I dived in occasionally here and there, and then I kind of fell off the boat a little bit. I guess I felt like boat was going to work with the Valhalla.
Yeah,
we were talking about it kind of fell apart though at the
that's
end there.
Right.
But I might go back. I think that's probably collected at this point. The next part of it.
Yeah.
The first part.
We have the trade.
We've got the Valhalla one, but not.
I think it has everything.
Does it have everything? Well, then
I
can
like,
go.
Because Valhalla was short. Remember?
It was short.
It's pretty thick. It's like this is how long the trade is.
That's true. But yes, like occasionally when I dive back in, I was like, oh, it wasn't always the strongest issue.
Most folk were pretty disappointed by the Valhalla not being the whole thing.
I think that's true. But that doesn't discount the book. And again, it's one of those where it's like, now that I know and I go back and read it, I'll have a different opinion about it because it won't be, I thought this was going to be just her doing Vikings for a while.
Yeah.
Or like going and traveling the world and like going through different lore or mythology. But no, it doesn't turn out to be that.
No.
But knowing that now, I can just enjoy the book.
Exactly.
So I give it another shot.
Chim Call X. Did no one heed the sign?
Also, by the way, good luck on your cardio.
That's right. Yeah. Keep
it up.
Did no one heed the sign? Points to the sign. Beware of the Bendis man. Continuity is Play-Doh to him. JK. It's omniverse now, so they can just put the story over there if it stinks. Also, yay, 100K. That's true. Thank you very much, man. But yes, you're absolutely right. Aiden Tolbert. Gotham City turns people into villains by a day. Yes, it does. Duckade, I know. Duckade, congrats guys. My bookshelf when I found the channel was some loose floppies in a year one by Miller. Years later, I have 2 full shelves. Y'all rule.
Oh, that's great. We love hearing that. Thank you.
Eric Santi, I can't wait for Immortal X-Men. What will the council do, knowing that in Life 9, Mr. Sinister betrays them with Chimera mutants? Yeah, good question. So, like, I doubt they know.
You know, it's funny. Like we all talked about like the Quiet Council when this all started, like having Exodus be a part of it, having Apocalypse be a part of it, having Sebastian Shaw be a part of it, but like. Listen, Apocalypse is like a powerhouse and like his own version of a loose cannon, but like Sinister for me, I'm like, that's the one. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
he's a man child.
Yeah, right. Like, don't include him. And they're just like, because then we can keep an eye on him. But it's like, you can keep an eye on him easily.
Put him in the hole.
Right. Just stick him in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we're going to talk about Dark Ages #4 from Tom Taylor and Iban Coelho. This book is ridiculous and no one's reading it. And I'm really ashamed to say that because I think this book is fun, silly nonsense. And I wish Marvel was trying to sell this damn thing. Like the big two are really whizzing it in terms of selling their books. But yeah, Dark Ages.
I think I think some of the marketing that we're seeing from this, because it's clear that like both companies rely on floppy sales, followed up by like the secondary pick of trade sales.
Yeah.
But I think they're starting to realize that the advertising spent on selling the floppies the first time around isn't worth it, and they're just hoping that you'll discover it on your own, but that like inevitably they are going to have those trade sales.
Yeah. And this is purely made to be a trade, which I get. And I'm enjoying it month to month. So they're evacuating, they're bringing refugees to Wakanda,
to Africa.
Africa.
They just say Africa,
right? Exactly.
But it's T'Challa's in charge,
exactly,
and so is Storm. I like that Taylor was like, I liked that relationship.
I liked that, and also they have a daughter.
Yep. Well, I mean, like a lot of the heroes have kids at this point.
Yeah, but they'll let Black Panther and Storm have a kid in this continuity, but not in regular Marvel continuity, which is part of the reason why the Hickman thing fell apart. Oh yeah, that whole giant-sized X-Men issue.
Yes,
with Storm was supposed to be she's pregnant with T'Challa's baby.
Sorry, I forgot we had that conversation.
That's right. But yeah, basically, it's just a lot of fun. It's just like it's a big like everyone's gonna like. They're going to Europe because they want to save the like smart people, and so they get on the boat. They're like led by Fury, Parker's kid, and I believe Danielle Cage. I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, Danny. They call her Danny.
Goes. They stow aboard, so it's like a cute little rom-com, or it's a cute little like kids movie. But then it very much does not become a kids movie when the shit hits the fan. And it's just a big fight on the open seas with a like shield helicarrier retrofitted to become like a boat, like an aircraft carrier. And they're heading on the open seas, and they are attacked by Marauders themselves, not the Marauders of the X-Men. This is the best idea for Ghost Riders that I've seen in forever.
Yes,
they're called Ghost Raiders.
Yeah,
and they're Ghost Rider pirates, people who have died on the ocean, who then like make deals with Mephisto and then become Ghost Riders, and they all work together to like, I don't know, form raiding parties and mess people's days up. It's amazing. Just the name Ghost Raiders is such a good idea. I love it. But anyway, so they fight the Ghost Raiders, and all is lost until Fin Fang Foom arrives, ridden by Scott Lang Ant-Man.
Which I love.
Yeah, the image of Fin Fang Foom being ridden at all is such a great idea, and it's like one of those things where that Tom Taylor was like, has no one thought of this yet?
I believe that in the... Oh wait, I don't want to spoil anything for those who didn't. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say anything. Never mind. I take it all back.
But yeah, basically, just like he it's too little, too late, and they lose one of their own, unfortunately. And it's Nick Fury, and they're like really sad. And I'm like, Nick Fury wasn't really in the book much, but okay, I guess that's sad.
Well, they're sad. Like listen, I think that's a moment that we're not meant to be sad. It's the characters reacting to a person that they've been working with over time. So they're having an appropriate reaction. For us, we're just like, okay.
Yeah, the book just kind of like stops, but or the issue kind of stops.
This book to me, and I think what a lot of people feeling with this is like it's pacing, and I think the problem is this is paced for a trade.
It easily is,
and it's not paced for month to month. And so, like, if you're like feeling weird about this book, I think that when this comes out, contained, you're gonna enjoy it way more.
You're gonna hear about it a lot more too.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I dig it. And do I recommend it as a month to month? I mean, I do, but like you'd probably do better to just read it as a trade.
At this point, that was 4.
That was 4, and I think there was only 5.
Really?
5 or 6. It's really short. Your boy Chips Ahoy, happy 100K. You really helped during a bad time in 2020. You're amazing. Well, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Quick Wreck, Boom Power Rangers continues to be cooler than it should. That makes sense. Memento Mori, happy 100K, hyped for the Moon Knight trailer. That's right, that's today. I forgot about that. I feel like I've seen it because I saw the preview for the trailer, but we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that it's a really good trailer that has a lot of like stuff in it.
Yeah, me too.
But
2 issues left.
Yeah,
okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Okay, thank you. So let's jump into some recommendations for comics that are coming out this week that we think you should buy. Amazing Spider-Man 86 comes out. Meh. I mean, like, I'm recommending it only because I'm reading it and the cover's pretty great. But obviously, Nightwing 88 is coming out, and that's going to be pretty great. I'm very excited about that. I read Hulk #2, and it's still baffling. So I will read one more of Hulk.
I love that you like are weirdly like, okay.
I'm just it's a page turner, but not like in a like The Room kind of way.
Right.
But yeah, so I recommend that one. You?
I'm gonna recommend. Scroll up a little bit. Thank you very much. You know what? Wonder Woman's coming out, so I'll try to pick that up. We'll see. Strange Academy #15, Eternals #9, Batman the Knight. I can't help it.
Oh yeah,
I gotta check that out. X Lives of Wolverine. I probably will look at that. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow #8. I'm like
7.
#7. I was just thinking that there's only 8 issues. That's why I said that. Like
Yes.
that. I'm so like. I can't wait for this, but I also don't want it to end. And I know the end is coming, so this will be the penultimate issue for Supergirl One of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Defenders #5 is a big week for me. I wish again they had spread it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because like things like Silver Coin #8, am I going to get a chance to talk about that? I don't know. That Devil's Reign cover up there is interesting me.
Yes,
because it's an X-Men tie-in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ben Reilly Spider-Man #1 from DeMatteis is coming. I don't know if I think this is like a flashback book. I honestly don't know, but I do love. I read the preview and I was like, that's very good. Like what a classic DeMatteis book. Green Lantern #10 is coming out, and you got to check that out because it's just like it's a Green Lantern run with like every Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Blue and Gold #5 I recommend. I also have to recommend Shadow Man #5. Shadow Man's returning, and you should check it out if you haven't already. I know I recommended the first volume. We recommended the first volume from Valiant Comics, but this is going to have a little bit of a switchover. Cullen Bunn's still writing it, but Pedro Andreu is drawing it. And if you recall, John Davis Hunt drew the last arc, and he will return for more Shadow Man work in the future.
Yeah.
But Pedro Andreo's art on the first issue alone of the new arc, Shadow Man #5, which I've read, is great.
Yeah.
So fitting. Like
this was an artist they had, and I liked him in the past, and I was like, I hope we see more from them. So
and
check it out. We see it more.
Exactly. So check out Pedro Andreo's art, but check out Shadow Man #5. It's also, by the way, if you're like, all right, so you guys have been talking about Shadow Man. Obviously, I picked up the trade because there was a ComicPop quote on the cover, but like,
that's right, you did.
If you haven't and you're just looking to jump in, it's not a bad arc to jump in on because like it sets up the context. It's not impenetrable. The concept is really simple, and everyone in the beginning of the book like sets up and explains what the concept is.
Right,
so
hang on. Okay.
Oh, so yeah, so I recommend that book as well. Just gotta check it out.
Hang on, scrolling. Go up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men, Death of Doctor Strange, X-Men Black Knight. If you're reading the tie-ins for those, that's coming out. I don't know who the team is on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is Cy Spurrier.
Yay.
Okay, Cy Spurrier and Bob Quinn. So like, if you like what Spurrier has done with the X-Men, this might be worthwhile because based on every other tie-in, I don't even want to call them tie-ins because they're not really tie-ins to the Death of Doctor Strange series. If you haven't been reading it, you'll probably be fine. Just grab this book. It's just going to be a story about X-Men and Black Knight dealing with something that has happened as a result of the death of Doctor Strange.
Exactly.
That's it.
So yeah.
Am I drinking from a small kettle? No.
But it does look like it.
It does. No, it's like this Starbucks desktop thermos mug that I got, and I freaking love it.
Yeah. Dante Cook with a big ass super chat. Thank you so much, Dante. I trade weighted and all of the afterward is afterward is in the trade.
Okay, great.
A Wonder Woman Vikings book would be epic, but the art matching her jumping through worlds is gorgeous. Seeing her handle and other mythos was different in a good way. Yes.
And like I did enjoy that to a point.
Yes.
I very much liked seeing her doing the different ones. I just thought we were going to get
more
of that, especially because with Yara Flor, we're getting such a dive into.
Oh, the book's canceled.
Especially since with Yara Flor, which I'm saying wrong, I know.
You are?
I've heard that we were getting such a dive into a different mythology.
Yes.
Then also diving a little bit into the Greek mythology as well. I was like, that's really cool. Wonder Woman Historia coming out again, mythology driven. So I was like, I really thought this Wonder Woman book was going to continue that trend for a little longer before they plopped her back. But I think they just needed her back for that event thing they were doing.
Yeah. Sean Conwell, Tiffany, settle a bet. Do you think magical girl anime counts as superheroes? Also, who's your favorite Sailor Scout? Well, you think about that. Eric Santee says, thoughts on the X-Men vote? I thought all the candidates for this year were interesting for story ideas. I agree, and I think that's like why they do it. They're also testing the waters. Who's gonna freaking buy these characters? Is anybody excited about it? Denton Films, how does Marvel keep losing Hickman? How many times do we need to teach you this lesson, old man? Congrats on 100K. Thank you very much, Denton Films. And yeah, I agree.
Yes, I do think it counts as superheroes.
Yeah, me too.
100%.
Easily. Sailor Moon is
I really
absolutely
had to think about that because it's like, you know, the magical girl like style like has, you know, its own niche, and it really has, you know, developed its own, you know, tropes and what have you that like were then like, you know, changed and switched around, and you know, people try to like, you know,
circumvented or subverted, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I definitely, I believe that they are in fact superheroes for sure. And my favorite, of course, is gonna have to be Sailor Jupiter. If I have to only pick one, I fell in love with her as a character from like the first time I met her.
I know.
In the English dub back in the day, there was just something about a schoolgirl like aged character who showed up and like had such incredible strength, but also loved cooking and like had these like very feminine earrings. Like, you know what I mean? Like she just showed that like it didn't like, you didn't have to be one or the other.
Yes.
You could just be what you wanted to be.
Right.
And like there was something about that so much appealed to me. So like she was easily my favorite, but like the well goes deep as to like my other favorites, but like that's the one.
Yeah. B Black, trying to find some cool comic home displays. Should I do wall rack and display the magazine style cover facing or bookcase style spine? I find that the magazine rack, if they're not in bags and boards, could hurt them. In fact, they hurt even when they're in bags and boards.
I guess it depends on if you're talking about trades or floppies.
Trades will be hurt. Floppies could also bend. So I would go with put them on a bookshelf.
There you go.
And then like maybe get a special like rack. Like we have like a little like book rack that you can like fold that you can put a single issue on.
And if there's a couple that you want to have out more as like an art piece, they do sell frames that can hold a comic.
Single issue, yeah.
To put up on your wall if it's something that you're not looking to read all the time. Not that I'm suggesting like a coffin for them, but like just put them as an art piece. If you're like, I just really like looking at this, you want to put a couple up there, I would suggest looking into those too.
MMN is also excited about Cy Superior doing X-Men Black Knight and Devil's Reign.
Hey, there you go.
RK, congrats on 100K. Thank you very much. DC released World of Krypton and House of L at the same time. Have you guys read either? And if so, which one do you prefer? No. I basically was like, I don't care about Krypton right now. And seeing 2 books about it, I was like, good luck with that, DC. King Sport Cal, I listen to back issues while sleeping, so sometimes I have dreams that Sal is the Watcher, annoying me with his fantastical, or weaving me in this fantastical story. It's very comforting. Well, thank you. I'm glad we can provide that.
You make it. You would have such a hard time being the Watcher. You could.
I would not be able to just watch.
You would not be able to just watch.
Oh,
not even a little bit. No.
B Black, I'm so confused on the Hickman debate. Did he leave Marvel for Substack, or did Marvel kick Hickman off the X titles? Marvel's about money, right? No, Hickman was basically pushed off of the titles because Marvel wouldn't acquiesce to everything Hickman wanted to do, and Hickman can always just come back whenever he wants to because Marvel is not like nostalgic or sentimental about any of that.
My personal belief on that is a little combo of some things here because I have no doubt that he felt like they were like, you can't do that and don't do that. And maybe he might have pushed a little bit harder, but knowing that Substack was there
allowed him to just do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. And so like he felt more empowered to just walk away from it as opposed to trying to do something else or push someplace else.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he did like put that on the table. Like I wouldn't be surprised because here's the thing, that 3 world moon thing he's doing at Substack, like he was going to do that after X-Men. Like there's no question about that. But Substack allowed him to be able to go, do what I want or I walk. And Marvel go, fuck you, good luck with that. And then he walked and they were like, oh, oops.
I can see that.
Because like I just got paid a small fortune to do what I was going to do when I'm done. So now I'll leave and I'll get another check when, you know, Substack falls apart and I just come back.
Yeah.
And do like the end of Ten of Swords.
That's right.
But yeah, so
I think the only other thing we want to mention is that we have indeed watched the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker.
Yep. And it's great.
And honestly, like the first episode, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
By the second episode, like, I think Gunn's doing a really good job of like making me hate myself for feeling bad for this character.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what he wants. I think I appreciate them taking the time to delve into a really random character and letting him extrapolate on them and give them a bit more depth.
Yes.
and introduce a bit of lore, and apparently what is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not canonizing. Is it? Yeah, canonizing.
Yeah, more or less.
Well, I was like, is it canonical and then canonizing?
Oh,
canonon.
Like, but yeah,
like me trying to spell banana.
Right.
But canonizing Batmite.
Yes. Great idea. Good luck.
Quite a bit going on in that show.
Yeah.
Very different than most of the other DC shows that you might be watching.
Yes.
But if you like the feel of what the stories that James Gunn tells, you're probably going to enjoy this.
I think so.
There's a lot going on. Freaking vigilante, man.
Yeah. The Deadpool of the DC universe.
Yeah, but like in his own way. Like
exactly.
It does not feel like they're just trying to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
He has his own thing
going
on.
Yeah. Young Goku over 9,000. Congrats on 100K subs. Thank you. I'm kind of bummed no one seems to be reading Dark Ages. The book is just butter and so much fun. Also, Zdarsky is writing a Bruce Wayne origin tale. Love Zdarsky, but do we need this? No, but Zdarsky will justify it in some way. He's good.
Here's what we're saying. Like, here's what I'm saying. If you feel like you don't need it, that means that that's the story that he wants to tell, which means it might be good.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
That's the way that Zdarsky works best, in my opinion, is when he comes to the table like, this is a story I want to tell.
Yeah,
this is a story I want to do.
Right. Jack O'Connell, congrats on 100K. Thank you very much. I don't care about following comics anymore, unfortunately, but I do love back issues. Well, thanks a lot. Glad we could be there for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hopefully you'll leave an ear open for something that might perk your interest.
Exactly.
But thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. We want to thank you for your support, for your super chats, and especially for your thank you or for your congratulations. We really, really appreciate it. Over on youtube.com/ComicPop, we just crossed 100,000 subscribers, and it pretty much cemented. And I'm very happy to say that. And I'm very, very grateful and appreciative to all of you for subscribing, for your support, for your endless kindness and stories about when you started and how it all came about. I want to thank our intrepid team, Tiffany especially, and of course Ben and Ethan for making us get there. It's not an official stream about that, but I just wanted to say
no.
I'm very lucky to have all three of you guys on my team and making me look good. And that's it. We'll see you guys next time with another episode. Don't forget to follow us on twitch.tv/ComicPop to watch Tiffany play video games.
Exactly.
Subscribe here for live shows and stay tuned for more back issues.
Yeah, and we'll be on the lookout either on a show like this or on social media to find out when the live stream celebration will be for the 100K, because we're super excited.
Yeah, check your community tabs and updates from social media for more. But I will make sure it's everywhere. So that's it. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody.
Bye.